Okay, so anyway, I've been hacking away at these lengths. They burn through those discs real fast. I get those quick cut discs for the grinder. I killed one already. I had to go and get another one. They just don't make cheap crap like they used to. Apparently you can't even buy the bushings for these anymore. The little commutators or carbon brushes, whatever you want to call them. I think they're more expensive than the grinder. The grinder was 20 bucks Australian, so I got a upmarket one which was $30. I know this brand works well because the last one I had before this one lasted me 3 years, and this one lasted me 2 weeks. I think apparently it's got a plastic gearbox in it. This one doesn't. So anyway, I've been hacking away at these. It's a bit funny, these drawings, because some drawings aren't the same as others. So this came out of a book. I don't know what book it came out of, but if you look at this outrigger, it comes right up and there's no meat between that and the top hat. So it joins the bottom of this center rail, but then at the top hat it's right up on it. But then if you go over here, where's a good one? There's actually meat there. So there's around 50 mils meat. So to err on the side of caution, first off I started cutting one out with no meat at all, and I looked at it and thought, you know what, when I mean by no meat, I mean this outrigger here. Oops, sorry. This outrigger here had no meat. It basically, in the picture, went like that. So from there it went down to 0. This is obviously upside down. So this is upside down, so if you imagine it's flipped up and then there's another piece on top. But err on the side of caution, I've given an extra meat there, and then the sill plate, or depending on what country you come from, the sill plate, the inner plate will go along here, and you'll be able to weld along to it, and then it'll come like that. But that's the start. The bulkhead is forward from there, so the datum point is from that point forward, and I'm just cutting a few bits now, just trying to get myself started and get my head in the game, because it's a little hard to, if you imagine what I'm doing here, I'm basically building a car, so there isn't a starting point for me. It's you know, that's it there. And as I said, some of these measurements are incomplete, so it gives me bolt hole to bolt hole, but it doesn't give me the total length of those beams. So from that point to that point I don't have a length. So I've gone through all my other paperwork and I've sort of averaged it out. And what I'll do, I think by the looks of this, what I'd say is happening is this was like on a jig, these holes lined up on a jig, and this was assembled in 2 halves. This is what I'm gathering. Just by the further I look at this, the more I think that that's what's happened. It was assembled on 2 jigs and then brought together and then welded in the center. So I think this center part may have been room for error. They may have fudged, as in ground down each face to get the distance between that point and one of these points exact, because I don't see any other reason why not having a length there, only a hole. I know on my other cars they have jig holes, and you know, you basically line the whole car up. If you're lining up the roof to the floor or the door pillars, they have line-up holes. That's why you see these little holes in them, and that have no reason. I've seen some guys, they go, I don't know what it is, and they weld it up. It's actually a jig hole. So I'm guessing that's a jig hole. I could be wrong, probably wrong, but that's why I can't get a distance. So anyway, I've worked out the distance to that point. So I've got this one cut, this one cut, this one cut, and these two cut now. Sorry, these two cut. I'm not used to looking at a camera screen when I do things. So there, that one. And what I'll do now is have lunch. And I've got to go and buy more cutting discs. I like the fast ones. They cost me $1 each, but they bloody rip through stuff quick. And I mean, they burn out fast, but cuts are smaller, they're more accurate, blah blah blah. So what I'll start doing now is I'll get one top, this is called a top hat or I-beam, and I'll get 3 of those cut. Actually, I'll probably just, yeah, I can't measure these ones out just yet because this forks out, so from that point on the distance changes. So I'll get 1, 2, 3, and then what I'll do is I'll tack this together and I'll square up on the floor. This bloody camera. So anyway, I'll square up on the floor, I'll measure it point to point, point to point, and then just adjust. I'll just throw a couple of tacks. I won't do them just yet. And then I'll throw on a beam, I'll flip it, and then the front beam I'll tack on there, 3, and then I'll butt these up. Now the beautiful part about what I'm doing this way is this beam is 50 mils, but the gal box section that I've got, it actually fits into it like a sleeve. So I'm just going to pretend that this is sitting upright. When I go to weld the box section above it, this little lip here will be proud of the face on the inside, so I'll get a really good weld across that point. So that's the idea, and I can also it also fits in. So if I want, I can run box section through the center of it and draw it out to adjust for lengths. You know, if I don't end up being exactly right, but it also adds strength in the center. So that's what I'll be doing here. I'll be running a section through and then welding across the front, and then yeah, obviously that's what I'll be doing. So that's the start. As I said, I'm just waiting for the rain to stop. It's pissing down rain here, so I've got to do something. So that's the start. Anyway, bring you back.